Have you ever noticed that the moment you decide enough is enough and move on to focus on yourself and your own growth is the moment when someone suddenly wants your attention more than ever? It's like they're hit by a lightning bolt of regret when they realize what they've lost and they start chasing you like you're the only thing that matters. They didn't see it coming, but now they can't imagine life without you. That's the power of stepping back, reclaiming your strength, and letting them feel the full weight of your absence. Yes, my brave warriors, this isn't just a chance turn of events. It's the consequence of reclaiming your power, of stepping back and letting them feel the gaping void your absence creates when you shift your energy inward. You force them to confront the painful reality of your absence. They are left to face the haunting realization that they took you for granted, and now they can't stand the thought of losing you, as the saying goes. Don't chase, let them realize they need you. Not the other way around, and it doesn't stop there. As you continue to focus on yourself, you become even more magnetic, even more desirable. As someone hit the home, attract them with your silence and make them crave your attention. They start to see what they're missing, and the regret only deepens. They're left craving your attention, longing for a connection they didn't value when they had it. So if you're ready to harness this power to make them realize just how much they need you, then get ready. We're diving into 9 undeniable truths that will show you exactly why they only want you when you no longer want them. This isn't just about shifting the balance, it's about taking charge. Let's get into the strategies that will put you in charge of your own life. But first, here's a challenge that will set the tone for what's to come if you're ready to become that person whose thoughts are effortlessly diverted. Write "I deserve better" in the comments below. This is more than just a catchy phrase. It's a promise to learn these tough skills and become someone unforgettable. Make sure that your deeds and thoughts are so strong that they make them think of you over and over again. People who are ready to adopt this mindset will start learning how to become an irresistible thought in someone's mind. Let's start with the first point on our list: the power of absence. You may be wondering if being absent can really make someone want me more. The answer is a resounding yes. Let's break it down and see why this seemingly simple idea packs such a powerful punch. When you're always around, texting, calling, showing up, they start to take you for granted. It's like having Wi-Fi. Like that extra slice of pizza in the fridge, people don't notice you until you're gone. Your steady presence becomes something they think will always be there. If you think about it, that's when things start to get interesting. You're always open. People know that you'll answer the phone at 2 a.m. if they need someone to talk to or a shoulder to lean on. People know that if they call, you'll drop everything to spend time with them. But one day, you decide to take a step back and focus on your own growth in life. Suddenly, you're not as available and they're left wondering what happened. This is where the power of absence comes in. When you're not there, you leave a hole in their life that you used to fill. And voids don't like being empty. They want to be filled. Epicurus said, "A man can't learn what he thinks he already knows." When you're always there, they think they know everything about you, including your availability and value. But when you take a step back, they realize they didn't appreciate you as much as they should have, which makes them want you even more. I think I missed the ending. What's going to happen now? And now for the real kicker. Absence doesn't just make the heart grow fond, it makes the mind race. They start imagining all the things you might be doing without them, all the fun you're having, all the new people you're meeting. Suddenly they're no longer the star of your show. And that's when they start wanting to be part of the story again. But let's be clear, this isn't about playing games or being manipulative. It's about understanding your own worth. It's about recognizing that you are valuable and that value doesn't diminish just because someone doesn't see it right away. As the great Marcus Aurelius said, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury by stepping back and focusing on yourself. You're not just showing them what they're missing, you're showing yourself what you deserve. So folks, embrace the power of absence. It's a tool, a strategy, but more importantly, it's a reflection of your self-respect. When you step back, you're giving them the chance to realize just how much you mean to them, and if they don't realize it, well, that's their loss, not yours. Keep growing, keep focusing on yourself, and remember that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to simply be less available. It's not just about making them want you, It's also about making sure you want yourself even more. So go ahead and accept your worth. When you value yourself, the right people will start to value you too. And before we move on to the second question, you may be wondering why they only realize your value when you no longer want them. Well, it's because they've spent time and energy on someone only to let you down, and then something changes. You decide enough is enough. You stop chasing them, you stop caring, and you start focusing on yourself. All of a sudden, they have a shocking realization of your worth. They start to crave your attention. But why does this happen? Why do they only realize your value when you no longer want them? Human psychology and emotion play a big role in this. If you're always there for others and give them what they need, they may start to take it for granted and not appreciate it as much. It's natural to not value things that are easy to get, but when you decide to pull away to recharge and focus your energy on yourself, everything shifts. This change in dynamics forces them to face the truth of your absence. Suddenly, things they used to take for granted become painfully obvious. They start to understand how much they're missing you, a reliable presence, a source of support, and maybe even a source of love. As Marcus Aurelius said, the best way to get back at someone who hurt you is to be unlike them. By taking a step back and focusing on yourself, you're not just regaining control, you're changing. The story. When you're not there for them, they feel a void that makes them feel a deep sense of regret and longing. That's when they realize that your value wasn't in your constant presence, but in the uniqueness of what you brought into their life, something that no one else can replace. That's when they start to see your true worth, and it hits them hard. Also, if you focus on your growth, you naturally become more magnetic. Your energy changes, your self-confidence rises, and you start attracting more good things into your life. This makes them feel even worse about what they did, because they see an even more desirable version of you that is farther away. In essence, they realize your worth when you don't want them because you've taken away their comfort and let them see what life is like without you. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes stepping back is the best way to make someone realize they can't afford to stay with you, to lose you. It's not about playing games. It's about understanding human nature and using it to reclaim your own power and worth. Let me know what you think and what questions you have in the comments. I'm here to help you on this journey. If everything is clear so far, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now let's talk about the next thing they might feel, which is even more important, so don't miss it. Stick around because we're just getting to the heart of how your absence can make a profound difference in their life. Life 2. The shift in dynamics. So folks, let's move on to our second point. The shift in dynamics, this one's a game changer. And it's all about how the balance of power can flip when you decide you're done chasing. It's like switching the rules in the middle of a game. You go from playing defense to playing offense, and suddenly they're the ones trying to catch up. Let's paint a picture here. Imagine you've been putting in all the effort, texting first, making plans, bending over backward to keep the relationship going. You're basically a one-person cheerleading squad always rooting for them. But what happens when you decide, you know what, I'm done? You stop putting them on that pedestal, and instead you start focusing on yourself. It's like that moment in a movie where the underdog finally realizes their worth and stops trying to impress everyone else, and guess what happens next? The dynamics shift. Suddenly, you're no longer the one seeking validation. They start to feel that change, and it throws them off balance. This shift is powerful because it forces them to see you in a new light. As the great Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, it is the power of the mind to be unconquered, able. When you stop giving away your power and start reclaiming it, they can't help but notice you're no longer bending to their will, and that makes you incredibly intriguing. When you're always ready and willing to help, they know exactly where they stand with you. But when you pull back, when you stop being so predictable, it creates a sense of mystery. Suddenly, they don't know if they still have your attention, and that uncertainty can be very attractive. Here's a fun example. Remember that time you were really into a TV show, but then the plot got a little boring, so you stopped watching? But then your friend tells you the latest episode had a crazy twist and suddenly you're hooked again, you start binge watching. To catch up, all because the show went from predictable to surprising. That's exactly what happens when you shift the dynamics in a relationship. You go from being that steady, predictable presence to someone who's a little harder to pin down, a little more interesting. And let's not forget the humor in this situation. It's like when your cat suddenly decides to ignore you, and now you're the one desperately trying to get its attention. You're sitting there with the catnip saying, "Come on, Fluffy, I'm right here." But Fluffy's off doing their own thing, and now you're the one feeling left out. That's exactly how they feel when you shift the dynamics. They're suddenly the ones trying to win you back. But remember, folks, this isn't about manipulation. It's about recognizing that relationships are a two-way street. If you've been doing all the heavy lifting, it's time to let go and see if they're willing to step up, and if they do, great. If not, you've just made room in your life for someone who will appreciate you without you having to be reminded. So welcome the change in dynamics. It's a strong reminder that you deserve to be valued by yourself as well as others. When you stop chasing, people will come to you, and those who truly value you will rise to the occasion. Keep your attention on your growth, your happiness, and your journey. And remember that you're not just changing dynamics, you're changing the game. So let's dive into one of the most interesting parts of human relationships, the allure of independence. This idea changes everything, and you need to know it to understand why they want you when you don't want them anymore. Imagine this. You've always been there for them, reaching out and making time for them. They're used to it, and they may have even taken it for granted. But then something changes. You choose to focus on your own growth, your goals and happiness. You should stop waiting for their calls and making plans for them, and instead, live your life for yourself. Now, here's the catch. Being independent is very appealing. When they see you doing well on your own, it's like a light goes off in their heads. They realize you're not just the person who was always there for them, but someone who's building a life that grows and shines without needing them. And that's when the tables start to turn, friends. Marcus Aurel once said that a person who lives in harmony with himself also lives in harmony with the world. When you are at peace with yourself, you give off an air of confidence and peace that is hard to resist. Being strong inside is what keeps people coming back to you when they. To understand why independence makes you feel this way, think about it this way. When you're independent, you're telling the world, "I'm valuable on my own. I don't need anyone to complete me and trust me," which makes them feel good. Folks, people notice, they start to see what they're missing. A person who is whole self-sufficient and living life on their own terms. This is the essence of the allure of independence. Imagine you're at a party, there's someone there who's friendly, chatting with everyone, but not particularly standing out. Then there's someone else who's confident, comfortable in their own skin, moving through the crowd with ease. Not desperate for attention but fully enjoying themselves. Who are you more drawn to? Probably the latter. Right? That's the allure of independence in action. When you embody independence, you become that person who doesn't need to chase after anyone's approval. You're busy chasing your own dreams, and that's far more compelling. It's this confidence and self-assurance that makes others want to be a part of your life, even if they didn't see your value before. Now let's be clear. Independence isn't about shutting people out or being aloof. It's about prioritizing yourself, your goals, and your well-being. It's about showing that while you value relationships, you don't depend on them for your happiness. Other people will start to see you as desirable, not because you're always available, but because you're living a full, rich life that they want to be a part of. And this is where the magic happens. When you focus on your independence, you naturally attract more positivity and opportunities into your life. You're not waiting for someone to validate you, because you've already done that for yourself. This is when they start to miss you and crave the energy and confidence that you exude. So what's the lesson here? Accept your independence and use it as a powerful tool to improve your own life and to show others what they missed out on when they didn't value you. Remember that you are your own greatest asset. As you continue to grow and thrive on your own, those who didn't see your worth before will start to see it clearly, but by then it might be too late for them. In the end, living independently means loving yourself enough to know that you don't need anyone else to tell you how valuable you are. So go live your best life and watch as others realize how much they want to be a part of it. Don't give up, stay focused, and most of all, stay true to yourself. Independence isn't just a good thing to look at. It has 4 magnets. The rarity effect. So let's get to our 4th point. This one, the rarity effect, changes everything because it gets to the heart of why they only want you when you don't want them. People naturally want things they can't easily get. The last slice of pizza tastes 10 times better when you know it's going to be gone. The same is true for relationships. When you make yourself less available, you become rare, and that makes you more valuable in their eyes. Imagine this. You're always there for them, ready to drop everything for them, and they get used to it. They start to think that they can count on your attention no matter what. But the moment you step back, something interesting happens. They start to notice the space you leave behind, and they realize that your presence wasn't something to be taken for granted. Suddenly, you've gone from being a common presence in their life to something rare and valuable. It's kind of like how we treat everyday objects versus items. To collect, losing a pen wouldn't bother you because you can always get another one. But losing a rare limited edition item would hurt, wouldn't it? When you make yourself rare, you go from being the everyday pen to that one-of-a-kind collectible that people can't stop thinking about. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca said, it's not that we don't have enough time to live, it's that we waste too much of it. Stop giving away your time like it's a commodity, and trust me, when you do, other people will start to value it too. They'll see you not just as someone who's always there, but as someone whose presence is a gift, not a given. To lighten the mood, let's compare this to when you were a kid and ignored your toys until someone else wanted to play with them. Then, all of a sudden, that toy became the most interesting thing in the room. That's exactly what happens when you put some distance between yourself and someone. This doesn't mean you play hard to get or start some kind of mind game. It's about genuinely focusing on yourself, your growth, and your happiness. When you're not always around, they can't help but notice your absence becomes a powerful reminder of your worth, and they start craving your presence they used to take for granted. Imagine a situation where you're always texting or always available for a call, always going along with plans. What if you stopped being the person who's always there and focused on your hobbies, spending time with friends, and investing in your own growth? Suddenly, they start missing you and wondering what you're doing when you're not around as much. They start to crave that connection that they used to ignore. The rarity effect is a reminder that sometimes less is more. When you stop giving so much of yourself, you give others the chance to miss you, value you, and realize what they stand to lose. It's a powerful tool in relationships and in life, so use this as a little inspirational push. Don't be afraid to take a step back and let others feel your absence. Instead, focus on yourself and let them understand how valuable your presence really is. Remember that you are not just anyone, you are someone worth missing. And when you start treating yourself that way, others will too. 5. The contrast of confidence. Okay, let's get to our 5th proof. Here's where things get really interesting. Confidence is one of those qualities that can attract and change people. When you no longer want someone, something amazing starts to happen. You start to radiate a new level of confidence, and trust me, they can't help but notice it. Imagine this. You used to be stuck in someone else's world, maybe even a little insecure, always wanting their approval or attention. But then you decide to focus on yourself and let go of the need for their validation. You stop caring so much about what they think and start caring more about your own growth. It's like a switch goes off inside you, and all of a sudden you're walking taller, smiling brighter, and exuding a sense of self-assuredness that wasn't there before. This change is noticed, and it's very clear. The person who used to take you for granted now sees you in a completely different light. You're no longer the person who was always there waiting for their attention. Instead, you're someone who's thriving on their own. And the difference between who you were when you wanted them and who you are now that you don't makes a big difference in how they see you. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you that matters, but how you react to it. That matters because when you respond to their lack of interest with confidence and self-assurance, You make it clear that you don't need them to tell you how valuable you are. And let me tell you, that's very attractive. Let's make this funny. Imagine you're a caterpillar that just changed into a butterfly, and the other person is standing there dumbfounded, wondering where that clumsy little bug went. Suddenly they realize that you're not just any butterfly, but one with bright wings flying high and free out of their reach. Confidence, my friends, is like a light in a dark room. It draws people in, makes them curious, and leaves them wondering how they missed it before you stopped wanting them and started focusing on your own journey. Your confidence grows, and so does their desire for you. They realize that the person they used to take for granted has changed into someone amazing, someone who doesn't need them to feel complete. And here's the catch. Your confidence doesn't just make them want you more. It also makes you feel better about yourself. You realize that your worth isn't based on what other people think or feel about you. It's based on who you are, not who wants you. Let this be your motivation. Don't worry about being wanted. Just be sure of yourself. This will change not only you, but also how other people see you. You're not just someone's backup plan. People can't stop thinking about you because you're no longer trying to get their approval. Remember that confidence is contagious. The more you work on it, the more people will be drawn to it, and in the end, you'll realize that the only approval you ever really needed was your own. So keep growing, keep shining, and let your confidence be the force that not only draws people to you, but also gives you the power to live your best life. 6. The hurt of feeling bad about something. Now let's look at our 6th proof, which really hits home when it comes to the pain of regret. People often realize what they had only after it's gone. It's the old saying, you don't know what you've got until it's gone. But let's add a Stoic twist to it. Imagine you've been there for someone, helping them and caring for them, but they didn't really appreciate it. Then one day you decide enough is enough, you pull back, you focus on yourself, and all of a sudden they really understand what they've lost. It's like they're walking down memory lane, but instead of loving the walk, they're tripping over stones of regret. People, regret is a strong feeling that can sneak up on you and whisper in your ear, "What have you done?" For them, it's not just missing you. It's the deep-seated pain of knowing they had something great and let it slip away. As Seneca so wisely put it, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. But here's the catch. For them, that end is the start of their regret. Now let's be honest. Regret can be a harsh teacher because it makes people remember all the times they didn't value you and took them for granted. When they keep thinking about what they've lost, they start to want you more than ever. They want a second chance, even though they know deep down that they might never get it. So if you ever feel like you're not being appreciated, remember this. Sometimes the best thing you can do is step back and let them feel the pain of regret. It's not mean. It's just about letting them see how valuable you are, and who knows, regret might be the spark that starts a new relationship, a fresh start where they finally see that you were always the one they needed. Stay strong, keep your mind on your growth, and let the pain of their guilt show you how valuable you are. You're worth it. 7th proof, the mystery of uncertainty. Now let's get to the 7th proof, the mystery of unsure. This is one of the sexiest reasons why they only want you when you don't want them anymore. Imagine this. You've pulled away and stopped sending those, "How's your day going?" texts. Now they're left scratching their heads, wondering what's going on. The uncertainty drives them crazy. It's like trying to solve a puzzle with missing pieces, and let me tell you, people love a good mystery, especially when it's about someone they thought they had everything figured out. You see, when you create a little distance, you also create a lot of curiosity. Suddenly they're thinking about you more, going over old conversations and wondering what you're up to. Marcus Aurelius said it best. It is not death that a man should fear, but never beginning to live well. If they start to fear losing the connection they had with you, they want to know more. Uncertainty isn't just interesting, it's magnetic. It draws them in like a moth to a flame. They start to miss you, and the certainty they used to take for granted, so embrace the mystery. Keep them guessing, and watch how quickly they come running back, eager to solve the puzzle that is you. Remember that your value doesn't go down because someone can't see it. Keep shining, keep growing, and let them know what they're missing. 8. The reversal of roles. So folks, let's dive into the 8th proof. The reversal of roles. This one's a real eye-opener, and, honestly, it's almost poetic how it plays out. Imagine this. You were once the one chasing the one seeking validation, always there, always available. But then something changes. You decide to step back, focus on yourself, and suddenly, boom, the roles flip. Now they're the ones doing the chasing, trying to win you back. It's like Marcus Aurelius said, the best revenge is to be unlike him, who performed the injury by no longer seeking their approval. You've put yourself in a position of power. They start wondering, wait, why aren't they chasing me anymore? Did I just lose something valuable? And that thought, my friends, is what turns the tables. Imagine you were always the one texting first, always the one making plans, but now you're not reaching out, you're not available, and they feel the shift. They start texting, trying to get your attention, trying to win back what they didn't appreciate. Before, the beauty of this reversal is that it's not about playing games, it's about recognizing your worth. When you focus on yourself, you become the prize. And here's the motivational part: by stepping back, you're not just gaining control, you're teaching them a valuable lesson about your value. So keep shining, keep focusing on your growth, and watch how the roles naturally reverse in your favor. You have this 9, the fear of the end. So let's get to our 9th fact. When someone finally decides to move on, they go through a moment of pure panic. It's like they suddenly realize, wait, this might be the end. And trust me, it's a scary thought. Fear that they might lose you for good is the only thing that makes someone want you more. Imagine that you've stopped reaching out, stopped caring, and started. When they see you living your best life, they suddenly worry, what if they can't get you back? It's a classic case of, you don't know what you've got until it's gone, and they start to panic. Did I just let the best thing slip through my fingers? Maraza once said that the color of your ideas changes your soul. It's too much for them to bear to think about you leaving for good, so they'll do everything they can to get you back. That's why your friends should keep thinking about you. Fear is a powerful reminder of your worth. When you choose yourself, you not only become stronger, but you also become someone they realize they can't afford to lose. These 9 proofs show that when you reclaim your power, focus on yourself, and step back, it forces others to face the reality of losing you. It's not just about making them want you. It's about understanding your own worth and letting them see it too often when it's almost too late.